Okay, so today is Monday, February 26th, 2018, and I'm working on this year's video project called Living Socially Secure. Trying to be careful because if you put out Social Security on the internet, the Google webs will shut you down because the government don't want you to use that phrase. So, Living Socially Secure is going to be, can you cut your costs to a manner. I'm going to be 62 in 8 months or so, and I'm going to go ahead and collect Social Security because I've been paying into it since 1971, and it starts the day you turn 62, and you do not know if you will be alive at the end of that day or however many days more. So you get a better return if you live a long time and you have bare bones costs. Now, as a hotelier, I've run hotels for profit, buildings where people like a home in their house and for profit. So I got to be able to do this kind of same thing to myself and make sure that I can cut super low costs. So, I started living. I've got a really nice manufactured home here, completely different than the first one in the series of videos that I have. I'm also trying to live what I call in a very Franciscan manner. As a bicyclist, I've spent most of my life outside bicycling. I don't bicycle indoors on the pedal bikes too much, except watching when Charles Barkley was with the Sixers. So what we have here is we're going to make some soups, some bean soups, okay, and then I'm going to make pasta melange, as they say, and in the oven. And let's see how much of this I can bring to the video. I'm going to check on this thing. And you have to, working on limited area here, which is good. So that is a 3.5 pound London broil roast, I forget. It was a very nice steak, and what happens is on Monday, if they don't sell them over the weekend, they go ahead and they cut the price in half. So, get this on correctly. Okay, so here we go. So there's a shot, size of that, and you can see a little bit of pepper on there and some steam coming off. It's good. The juices are there. It's the myoglobin. It comes from the muscles. It's not actually blood like people think. Over there I've got pasta ready, carrots are ready, some potatoes ready. Next I'm going to do the beans. So I'm going to make about 6 different meals initially out of this and still end up with a good almost half of that roast there, which will give me a lot of protein. So, having done this 2 weeks, okay, let's see if that works. So paid before that on your GoPro. There we go. And I can't really view this as a video yet, so I'm kind of hoping my techniques are the same. I have a video camera, YouTube, a flip camera, but it's not. I don't have a computer right now to send it to. So yeah, I'm comfortable with how that looks. It's huge, 1.5 inches, it's 2 inches thick. So I want it to cook slow now. It is a roast. I made sure I bought a roast, and I didn't write down the cut, and I should have. But it was a $20 roast yesterday, and today it was a $10 roast. So the way I integrate this with my bicycling is the things that you use for bicycling. Okay, we use a lot of legumes, and so I went shopping and I bought a bunch of different kinds of beans. And here's where your food will be subsidized when you're living on Social Security, because the AgriCorps get where's the black beans? The agricorps get subsidies to, you know, it's all a bribing thing from there's the black beans. It's all a bribery thing, agricorps and the Midwestern Congress folks from the farm states, the heartland, the breadbasket of America. And a lot of friends out in the Midwest. I had some accounts in the Midwest and knew some great people from a hotel company out there, East Coast Hotel Company, which is had a global portfolio. So the background is Dr. Ralph Stanley. They're doing picking and grinning. I live less than a mile from the Appalachian, top of the Appalachian Mountain on the trail. It's actually probably half a mile if I was to walk to the trail. And I'm going to do that a little bit later today. Now, I can tell that baker and it's not done. So we'll do 3 more minutes. Avoid blowing the fuse. It hasn't happened, and so I'm avoiding it. So, part of this discount theory is don't pay Comcast, don't use a TV, read. Keep your brain going. Follow your news on the internet because you can have a much cheaper cost on a hotspot over a broadband channel through a good phone. So that noise you hear in the background is when I was doing this last month, I set the smoke alarm off. And yet it's in the middle of a 2-hour recording with Dr. Ralph Stanley, ad hoc recording. They stopped into a small town in California in 1983 and offered to play for free. And so there's a beautiful video and the audio recording. So I recorded the audio. So to save money, what I'm doing is, bought this GoPro camera 2 years ago, $110, got a nice strong clamp for it, got an SD microchip. So I take that cost over 2.5 years, and it's under $50 a year buying cost, minimum electricity. I just have to manipulate my SD chip and keep it clear until I get another one so I can run 2 or 3 chips. So my YouTube channel, One Bicycle Eddie, has over 21,000 views. My TripAdvisor page, Burger Heaven 123, has over 35,000 views. So there are people who kind of, they're led into watching what's going on my channels, like millions of other people. You use your keyword, and you got to have something substantial to watch. And my average video that was watched last year was, somebody watched them for everybody, 4-minute average, which means there's some in there, stayed 8 to 10 minutes, others look for 30, 40 seconds. Depending on what I do and what I'm, how I set up the channel. So here, what I'm going to do is, I'm waiting for that roast. Okay, the potatoes are just about done. The last 2 meals that I've had, evening meals, were really important to me. I need baked chicken bean soup earlier in the month. I froze it in different portions, and so I finally got to eat it. And when I was cooking it, I said, you know what? Well, I want to make sure it doesn't go through me too fast. So I threw in 4 pieces of bread, just raw white, just regular white bread, because I love white bread. I baked millions of pounds, I produced millions of pounds of bread. Yeah, I worked in a factory with big blenders, and I learned bread formulas and fine-tuned some. So I took this white bread, I put it into this soup chicken bean thing, and it was one of the more substantial meals I've had in years. Last night's meal was London broil that was getting, I had sliced it about 10-15 days ago, so wasn't going to get more out of that. Did some, I use off-the-shelf ingredients mainly. It's better. You don't lose as much to rot, and yet I'll go into individual ingredient videos and where I discuss them, because I've been in hospitality since 1971 on the food side for about 12-15 years, and then running hotels where I had to breakfast in a restaurant, and I've run over 50, 75 weddings, and so I learned a lot of food stuff. And when I was in the food factory, we produced kosher food. That it was core kosher, and then everything around it would the brands who bought from us: Thomas, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, that's Thomas's English Muffins, Pepperidge Farm, okay? And then the bread base itself is used for the generic base. When you buy bread for a couple of $1 or so in a giant supermarket or Kroger's or anywhere, that stuff is the best you can buy when you get the white bread, because the stuff with the grains in it has more pesticides. The sacks of grains, the cars of grains have to be sprayed with more gas to kill the bugs when they arrive at the bread factories, because the hollow area between the grains, it allows these things to live. Finely milled white bleached flour kills all that stuff in the original blending up in Minnesota, Multifoods, the major producer. So what happens is, if you worked and watched how a bread factory works, you'd only eat almost white bread all the time. And that's what I did. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I lowered the roast, because the cooking technique I used, I did a preheat. Okay, I preheated to 410, brought it down to like 385. Okay, which, you know, browned and kind of sealed the outside of that large piece. Camera showed how big it was. And the myoglobin, I think is what they call it, is what comes out of that. It's part of the fibrous structure, and you know, it's not actually blood, from what my recent reading was. So this is the assembly point. Okay, I'll clear away anything, you know, because being a food professional, I like to make sure, you know, I have my disinfectant, I keep my dish soap over here, I rinse stuff, I have towels, paper towels handy, so that I don't cross-contaminate and make myself sick. Now, what I do is, I have a little technique where I take these people's stuff here, and I mix the beans in there, and I'm going to break this into digestible parts, because it only goes 17 minutes, and then it'll start over, and I think I only have about 20 minutes on this one. So this is the initial. And then I'm going to go ahead and explain a little more about the bean soup, and then I'm going to see about videoing the production process. Again, it's a gathering of ingredients. This lid I just used, okay, has to be washed. It's not going to cover anything until it goes through hot water and soap. This is great because this old ragu jar, it allows me to dip my beans in the jar, get a good mix of bean size, and I keep a lot of the juice, because those beans are soaking in that juice. So that juice has a lot of bean particles. That's minor bits which you need of the legumes. Okay. Now to get a little green in there, got some whole greens. I think I'm going to step it up with a little asparagus this time, okay? So this will fall apart, and then I went off the tangent, but last night I gathered some of the ingredients: the London broil steak, 2 types of Italian sauce, which we just discount off the shelf, regular Italian sauce. I had carrots, so the carrots, okay, and the ranzoni are similar size, and that's on purpose. Okay, a couple of, anybody can get any size pasta, any size carrots. But the idea is that when you eat this, I want you not to always know immediately by size what you're eating. It's when you bite into it. So the sliced London broil that I had in there from 2-3 weeks ago, whenever, the sale, where I got the big roast beef on sale, that I cut into sizes similar to the pasta ranzoni there, and rotini, whatever they are, and the corn carrots. Okay. Now, so there were some beans in there. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and think for a little bit, let the roast cook. You got to get your roast right. It's good to say, because I'm not going to slice it open and look at it. I'm going to make sure it's right. Got to do a little bit of research. So that ought to be about 17 minutes. So I'm going to turn this off